हेलो दोस्तों, बिगनर्स पॉइंट में आपका स्वागत है। और अभी हम कर रहे हैं सोशल साइंस। ठीक है, तो सिक्स क्लास की स्टार्टिंग करी है, सिक्स चैप्टर के दूसरे पार्ट पर है। और इससे पहले के चैप्टर नहीं देखे तो प्लेलिस्ट बना रखी है पॉलिटी के नाम से। ठीक। वाटर मैनेजमेंट। द हड़प्पन्स गेव मच इंपॉर्टेंस टू वाटर मैनेजमेंट एंड क्लीनलीनेस. They often had separate areas for bathing in their homes. These were connected to a large network for drains. ये लार्ज नेटवर्क है ड्रेन्स के लिए निकलने के लिए. विच जनरली रेन रैन ब्लो द स्ट्रीट्स एंड टुक द वेस्ट वाटर अवे. In Mohenjo-daro, people drew water from hundreds of wells made of bricks, but in other regions it may have been from ponds, nearby streams, or human-made reservoirs. In the case of Dhalavera in the Run of Kutch in Gujarat, the largest reservoir measured 73 meters in length. Reservoirs are large natural or artificial place where water is stored. At Dholavera, at least six large reservoirs were built with stones or even cut into the rock. Most of them were connected through underground drains for effect, efficient water harvesting and distribution. ठीक है, तो ये वो एरिया हो जाता है. A large reservoir cut in the rock at Dhalavera measuring 33 meter in length. What did the Harappan eat? Harappans created many of their settlements along the banks of a large and small rivers. This is a logical choice, not just for easy access to water, but also for agriculture, since rivers enrich the soil around them. Archaeological findings have shown that the Harappans grew cereals like barley, wheat, some millets, and sometimes rice, in addition to pulses and a variety of vegetables. They were also the first in Eurasia to grow cotton, which they used to weave into clothes. They made farming tools, including the plough, some of which continue to be used by modern day farmers. A small clay model of a plough from Banavali in Haryana. This instance, agricultural activity was managed by hundreds of small rural sites or villages. Then as now, the city could survive only if enough agricultural produce from rural areas reached them on a daily basis. The Harappans also domesticated a number of animals for meat consumption and fished both in rivers and in the sea. This is known from the large numbers of animal and fish bones found during excavation. What did Harappan cooking pots contain? Scientific examinations of clay pots have provided some answers, both expected ones, dairy products, and surprising ones, such as remains of turmeric, ginger, banana. Clearly, their diet was quite diverse. A brisk trade. The Hadappans were engaged in active trade not only within their own civilization, other cities nearby or far away, but with the other civilizations and cultures within and outside India. They exported ornaments, timber, some objects of daily use, probably also gold and cotton, and possibly some food items. The most favored ornaments were beads of carnelian, a reddish semi-precious stone found mostly in Gujarat. Harappan craftspeople developed special techniques of drill them so a string could pass through them and to decorate them in various ways. They also worked conch shells into beautiful shells bangles, which requires sophisticated techniques as shell is hard material. What the Harappans imported in exchange of the exported goods is not so clear. It probably included copper, since this metal was not so common back home. The Harappan mastered the art of working copper, a soft metal. If tin is added to copper, the resulting metal is bronze, which is harder than copper. The Harappans used bronze to make tools, pots, pans, and, as we will see later, some figurines. हड़प्पन ivory comb, ये क्या है कंगा comb, found the coast of Oman. To conduct such a trade, they used land routes and rivers and the sea for more distant destinations. This is the first incentive maritime activity in India. Indeed, quite a few Harappan settlements are located in the coastal regions of Gujarat and Sindh. Lothal, a small settlement in Gujarat, has a surprisingly huge basin measuring 270 meters in length and 36 meters in width. The length is just a little more than that of two football grounds. This basin must have been a dockyard, that is, a structure used to receive and send boats for further transportation of goods. Such elaborate trade requires traders to be able to identify their goods and also each other. This seemed to have been the chief purpose of thousands of small seals which have been excavated from many settlements. These seals were generally made of ceatite, a soft stone that would be hardened through heating. They measure only a few centimeters and generally depict animal figures with above them a few signs that are part of a writing system, but that system and the symbolic meaning of the animal figures are yet to be understood. What is certain is that they somehow relate to trade activities. Left to right, Harappan seal showing a unicorn, Harappan seal showing a bull, Harappan seal showing a horned tiger. ये टाइगर हो गया, ये बुल हो गया और ये यूनिकॉर्न हो गया. The lives of ancient archaeologists have unearthed many objects made and used by Harappan. Bronze mirror, ये क्या है मिरर, ये घड़ा हो गया. Pot, a few stone weights, a bronze chairs, धोलावीरा. ये सब चीज़ें मिली हैं. एक मूर्ति मिली है. ये स्टैचू ऑफ फिगर ऑफ ऑफन कॉल्ड प्रेस्ट किंग, ये वहाँ के किंग की क्या है मूर्ति है. A seal showing a swastik, a seal depicting a three-faced deity seated on raised platform surrounded by powerful animals. The dancing girl, a bronze figurine from Mohenjo-daro. A terracotta figurine seated in Namaste. A design of a pot which seemed to tell the story of the thirsty crow who finds a clever way to drink water at the bottom of the pot. The end or a new beginning. The around 900 BCE, this Sindhu-Sravasti civilization, despite all its achievements, began to fall apart. The cities were abandoned one by one. If any inhabitants remained, they adopted a rural lifestyle in the changed environment. It appears that the earlier government or administration no longer existed. Gradually, the Harappans scattered over hundreds, if not thousands, of small rural settlements. What caused this decline? Archaeologists have proposed many factors long back. It was thought that warfare or invasions may have destroyed the cities, but there is no trace of warfare of invasion. Indeed, the Harappans do not seem to have kept any army or weapons of war as far as the evidence goes. It seems to have been a relatively peaceful civilization. Two factors are currently agreed upon. First, a climatic change which affected much of the world from 2200 BCE onward, causing reduced rainfall and a drier phase. This would have made agriculture more difficult and could have reduced food supply to the cities. Second, the Shravasti River dried up in its central basin. Suddenly, cities there, such as Kalibangan or Banavali, were abandoned. There could have been other factors, but these two remind us of how much we depend on climate and the environment for our wealth. Although the cities disappeared, much of the Harappan culture and technology survived and was passed on to the next phase of Indian civilization, which we will explore in a future chapter. The Indus Harappan or Sindhu Shravasti civilization is one of the oldest of the world. Its inhabitants, the Harappans, created planned cities with efficient water management, diverse crafts, and a brisk trade. A productive agriculture brought a variety of crops to the cities. The civilization eventually declined, probably because of the climatic and environmental changes. People returned to a रूरल लाइफ स्टाइल। और इसी के साथ ये चैप्टर हो जाता है समाप्त। हम मिलेंगे अगले चैप्टर में।